Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we will start with our first CDS view development in our real-time project. In this one, we will try to use first standard table where we have to get the data. Then we will replace those tables with the released CDS view. Here one thing you have to make sure, if you are working S4 HANA version 2022 and onwards, you can find most of the released CDS view appropriately. But you are working in the laser version, then you will be not able to find the released CDS view easily and you have to struggle a lot. So in that case, you can use directly table also. But since my version is 2020, where I am developing this application, I will be not able to show you all the release CDS view, but I will show you that one or two release CDS view and how you can find out the release CDS view and use those release CDS view in your application. If you are not able to find out, then you can directly use table as well. On top of table, you can create your basic interface CDS view and then you can consume in your application as well. So without wasting the time, let's jump into the system. To create the list report application from our ALV report, we have now two things. One, this is the report which we are having, GRAM process order detail report, and another one, this Excel which we have prepared while going through this processing part of this particular report. We have two parts in get data. One is the data fetching part and another where we are looping through the data and we are preparing the final table. In the final table, we have 37 fields which is getting from these all are the tables. Based on the final table, we prepare this one, this list, and our projection view also have these all the fields to display in output. It can get from the interface view as well or other through the virtual element as well. That one of the virtual element we will gonna create. I will show you that also. Now first thing, since we have to create the CDS, we are already aware, and this is our get data part. In this get data part, we are hitting first table called the CRHD, which is the work center header table. In this work center header table, why we are hitting? Because based on the selection screen, on the selection screen, as I told you in my previous video also, we have the plant, we have the work center, and we have one date also. So based on the plant and work center, I just want to filter out those plant and work center which is having on my selection screen. In the list report page, instead of selection screen, we will be having the selection filter. Obviously, we have to do the same thing, and second table based on the object ID they got from the CRHD table or work center header table, they are passing in the operation table, AFVC table, and they are getting the all other detail. And the AFVC table is the main table where we are looping through the AFVC table and we are getting the other details from the other table. So this will be the one of the main table for us, AFVC and the CRHD. And after this, so you have to think, we have to think like that. So CRHD and AFVC, we can make the inner join because what all are the entries are available in CRHD and the AFVC, where all those object ID I am passing in the AFVC and I am getting only those object ID which is available in the CRHD. And once I got this AFVC, since we are looping through this AFVC, let me show you again. If you come back to the down AFVC table, our processing part, data processing part, which I can say loop part, there are a lot of select statement. After those lot of select statement, we have AFVC table. You can see this is highlighted here. We are looping through AFVC table. So after based on AFVC table, we are getting the other details. So those can be we can join as a left outer join or association we will use obviously. Left outer join, please avoid as much as we have to use the association, because some of the times for the some user, all the fields will be not displayed in the variant. Sometime we will display 10 fields for some user only using 10 field, some other 10 users, some other user using another 10 field. So if you use association, whenever you run the report, it will be faster and it will not join unnecessary those tables which is not required, because association join on demand. You don't know what is association, I have explained clearly in my CDS view series. You can go and watch out that. Let's go back to our main thing. So as I told you, since these are the two tables, so we have to hit CRHD and we have to hit the AFVC. We have to make inner join because these are the rigid join, and we want to get only those entries which is available in those both tables. Once we do the inner join, we will get the data, and other we will do the associations. We know we will be needing that one consumption process order, and that will be built on consumption layer, and we will be having one interface layer. We will be having one interface process order. To create the interface process order, so first we will create the interface process order and try to achieve try to join this inner join and try to achieve the how we can combine those all the other tables. So let's get started. So first what I will do, right click on our package, create new ABAP other repository object. You have to write data definition and you have to select the data definition, click on next button. This will be our first CDS view. GI, I will be using, I will give this name GI RAM. Instead of PTP or PP, I'm giving the module name as a RAM, so that is fine. And other detail, so you can give the GI because I'm creating the interface view. Why I'm creating interface view, you will get to know in next video. But whenever you work, first create this all the object in the local TR and try to achieve this thing. So in that way you will be naming convention wise, you will be good. Otherwise you can create and later point of time you can change the name. So as of now I am assuming that it will be the interface view, but it might be not interface view or it might be basic view. I have to create on top of that another view. That can be the scenario, but as of now I am assuming this will be the interface view. I need only one view where I can get all the data, and on top of that I can create the consumption view and I can do all the things in 2 CDS view. As of now I am thinking, but it might be possible, it might be not possible. How we will have to do that, we will think. First ZI underscore RAM and the process order detail I need. So that is the reason I put the process order detail. I use the camel case. So you have to make sure we have to use the camel case naming convention throughout our entire project. Let me go click on next button. Select the appropriate TR and you can click RAM rep real time. I have created where I have these all the objects. I will show you at last the TR also, where how to transport that TR in further system, how to check all the TR entries, that also I will show you. You can click on next button. Always use define view entity because define view is absolute. You can see here it is already absolute. We should not use, we should use always define view entity. Click on finish. It will create the, it got stuck. It will create our first CDS view where we will be getting the data from the other table. So it got stuck, so it didn't, so you can see it didn't use the template which we have provided. If it is happening with you, you can do control space and you can do shift enter or enter. It will use the template based on, again I want to change, I want to use the, suppose you have accidentally created the, instead of define view entity you created define view where we have to use the SQL view name. We want to change, just you can delete and you do control space and you can change the based on your requirement. You can change to define view, or since I want to use define view entity, I can use the define view entity template. As I told you, first table will be the CRHD. I am using the directly table as of now. I am not using any interface view or something like that. So let me use the directly table, CRHD table. As I told you, I will be having inner join. So you can open, you double click on this CDS, it will be enlarged, and you can open parallelly your report program to see what all are the fields we are getting from. So it's shift F1 you can do. I'm getting the data from the CRHD table and I am getting as of now, let me put one key field as of now I'm putting as a object ID, but in the CRHT table, if you see, we don't have the key field as the object ID. There is other key fields also there. Let me control click and show you. It will open it up. So you can see we have the key field is the object ID. Sorry, we have the object ID key field, so we can give the same key field object ID, obj ID. You can see we are getting the object ID, and next we can use the field naming convention and all. I will change later point of time, but as of now I just want to get the data and join the table, and I want to get these all other fields. So what I can do, Alt Shift A, Control C, I can give the Control V, and I can put comma after the each field and Shift F1. This is my first table. Let me do Control F3. The CDS view got created. Now I have to join this table with my AFVC table, where I have to join based on the object ID. And one more thing, you no need to put any filtration logic because those filtration logic will be automatically applied when you declare the select option. So you, as of now, you can ignore this plant and the work center. Those will be applied when you select the appropriate filter in the list report page. You no need to put those filters here. So you will get all the data, and when you will get the data, when you pass those filters from your query from front end, those data automatically filtered through CDS. You no need to worry about that. You no need to put where condition. So that is very important thing. So most of the time we will get confused how we will filter. We have to create the parameter, or we have to create the parameter as a select option. Not needed. We no need to create parameter. We no need to create select option. We just have to join those tables. When we get the data, when we pass the filter, it will be automatically filtered. How it will happen, we will see that also. And we will do the, as I told you, this is the result join. We have to do inner join. There is no other way. We have to do inner join. Association always create the left outer join. Most of the guys get, we can create through association also inner join, but direct joins we can't create. Either we have to access this CDS in another CDS directly in the from close, and there are some other ways which I have explained in my CDS view series. You can watch out if you don't know, but as of now we will create the inner join. This is the only way we have to achieve this one, and inner join with the AFVC table, and we have to give the appropriate condition. So what will be the condition? On we have to give the alias name, or you can give that is work center. This is work center header table, so you can give is work center header. So as I will use, this is not the association, so I will use as of now work center header. You can see one more thing you can use is still change here your CDS view name also, process order detail. It should be always camel case, so it will be visible in CDS, no need to worry. So work center header, and you can give this as a your operation. This is operation table, or in this case Control C, the work center header dot object ID should be equal to operation dot object ID. So both objects ID should be similar, not object ID, operation dot ARB ID. So set Z, Z, Z. It should be ARB ID. Where both are similar, we have to get. Since the plant is available in the both the table, in the CRHD and AFVC, it is asking to give explicitly which table you are getting from. So as of now, we can give the Control C work center header V dot, for each and everything we will give the each and every interface, we will give the each and every entry. Now what I will do, remaining things I will fetch from the other AFVC table. Let me quickly write the code. I'm pausing the video, so the video will be not become longer, so that is the reason. So I have written this from the operation, these many fields is needing, they are getting a plant again. I don't need multiple time plant, so I got the plant already from the work center header, so we don't need plant again, but other detail I got from here. Let me do shift F1 and control F3. Like that, this inner join is working. If you do F8, you will get obviously some of the data. So if you want to check each time after joining the data, you can check it out. So to checking that we are going in the right direction, or some joins are working correctly or not, to checking that part, you can do the F8. Okay, control F3. Okay, it got logged. Let me go to the SM12, Alt F8. So this is with this system, this is the issue. When you are not using for longer time any particular field, so this is creating this issue. Let me execute this one and select this one and delete these entries from SM12 and remove this lock. In that way, those locked entries will be removed, and you can do control F3 again, lock. So now it will be activated. Once it activated, you can do F8. You can see 100 entries we got, and most of the data we are getting easily. So like that, you can check the joins are working. Now next part, what we have to do, we have to go the next step. Based on the AFVC table, whatever they have got, they are passing the AUFPL and the, let me do Alt Shift A to remove this one. So based on the AFVC table, so whatever the data we got from the AFVC table, what they are going and what they are doing, they are getting the some data from the AFVB. So AFVB, basically this is also operation table only, but this operation table will be having the operation, when it will be started, when we can schedule, what is the earliest schedule date, what is the earliest encounter, and those all details. But in the output, we need only these two things. One is the earliest schedule start, and one is the date, and one is the earliest schedule start time. These two things we need from the AFVB table. Based on our this also, we can see, we will go through this also. One by one we will mark green when we complete this one. For example, we already got this all the fields from AFVC, plant and what we can say operation. So we can mark those two as a green, and you can select green. Let me change the background instead of doing that. So in that way, I will get to know that these two are, we are already getting these two source, and we can display in the output as well. Let me minimize this one and do the control F3. And here what we will do now, we will do, instead of left outer join, we will do the here inner join, we will do the left outer join, or we will do the association with the AFVB table. So what we will do next, I will use the association. So you should not use the never use the left outer join in your CDS. Whenever the left outer join is there, you have to use the association. Why I am telling the association? Because when we get the data from that particular table, then only join will happen. If we are not getting the data in our output, only we are fetching these fields, then join will not happen and your query will work faster. So that is the reason, instead of using the left outer join, always use the association. So association to, I am not giving cardinality, it will take the by default cardinality. Association to the AFVB table, you can give some alias name is, since this is operation table, operation schedule table, you can give operation schedule table. Pardon me if I am using some wrong spellings. Schedule. Okay, operation schedule table, and I have to join based on the AUFPL and the APLZL. So for that I have to use on this association. On I can use condition, dollar projection I can use here. First I have to use the AUFPL. That is the reason these two fields we are not getting in the output. So we are not displaying in the output AUFPL and APLZL, but we are still using in our CDS because we are using these fields in our join. So that based on these fields our join is happening. So that is the reason we have put those fields in our output, and we are accessing these fields through projection. So AU FPL, this should be equal to Control C, Control V dot AU FPL, and dollar projection. Another one will be the second one is the APLZ equal to operation schedule, Control C, V dot APL, control space you can do, shift F1, control F3. If you do shift F1, it will put in appropriate format, but it will not change this, what we can say, it will not change the associations, it will not change the name, it will not make smaller like it happen in ABAP. A keyword is in small capital letter and the other words are in small letter, like it will not happen, like you can see here, those things will not happen here even you do shift F1, but it will format in correct format. So that is the reason as I told you, if you see the standard CDS view also, those CDS view always use the camel case. So that is standard approach, we can say. From the AFVV, we need only two fields, FSAVD and FSAVZ. So let's quickly put those fields in our output. I have used these two fields, FSAVD and FSAVZ. These are basically, if you see in our table, one is the start date and start time. These schedule start date and schedule start time, I think so. So these two we are using earliest schedule start date, not the schedule start date, it's earliest schedule start date and time, which we are displaying in our final output, which we are getting from the AFAV. But if you see my Excel, I have given some of the standard CDS view instead of using these directly tables. So whenever you are working in the S4 HANA version 2022 and onwards, you are the lucky guy, but this is not the S4 HANA 22, it's below than 2022, it's I think 21 or 2020. Here I can't use the ATC check called the ABAP Cloud Readiness Check. If you are lucky enough and you have the S4 HANA 2023 or 2022 version and onwards, you just right click and run as ABAP test cockpit with, this is the not one, ABAP Cloud Readiness, something called the ABAP _ Cloud Readiness Check. That is the variant is there, but in this we don't have ABAP Cloud Readiness Check variant. We don't have anything called ABAP Cloud Readiness Check. That variant is not available because it's this particular system is the laser version than 2022. There, if you run ATC check, then it will suggest you, instead of using the CRSD table, you should use the I_work center table. Why you should use I_work center table? I will tell you. Control C, and if you go here, let me open this, Control Shift A, Control V. Let me open I_work center table, and if you go to the properties of this particular table, and if you go to API state, it will say this particular CDS is released for internal use in SAP. But as of now, you can see used in cloud development, this is no. But if you go to 2022 version, it is yes. They have released this particular CDS to use for the cloud development. And here we can't check, but if you want to use this release CDS view instead of those particular table, we can use because it is released. This is also ultimately getting the data from the CRSD table only. We need the data. Apart from CRSD table, they have linkage with the plant, material and all other CDS as well, which is also released one. There is another way. If you are working in higher version, you can directly open the CRSD table and you can go to the properties again, and you can go to the API state. Here it will suggest, instead of this table below down here, it will suggest you, if you are working in higher version, which CDS view you should use instead of using this particular table. That also we don't have in this version, we don't have that option. These are the two things you can do whenever you are working with the CDS view and you want to make sure that your all the object ready for cloud development. Then either you have to run your cloud readiness check, or before using any table, go to the API state, properties, API state, and check what is the alternate CDS view for this particular table. And instead of this CDS, once you get to know this, what is the alternate CDS, suppose you get to know I_work center is the alternate CDS for this particular CRSD table. Let me open here, Control Shift A, and you can open it. And since we know from the CRSD we are getting the two fields, so instead of getting those, what is the object ID? So for that, what you have to do, you have to search for the object ID field, Control F, OBJ ID, and you can say what is the OBJ ID name. So this is the work center internal ID. So you can see I have put here, instead of the OBJ ID, as of now I am not using, I am using plant and work center. That is the reason I put only this one. But if I am accessing this CDS view, let me put one for your example how you have to do. So Control C, instead of this CRSD you have to use I_work center. It got stuck. So let me log again. Instead of CRSD, Control V, I_work center I will use. So it will say the object ID is not available. So instead of object ID, again I have to do Control F, and I have to see where we have used object ID here in this one. You have to click here, so it will take you to object ID, and I have to use that. Instead of this, I have to use object ID. You have to replace this one, and instead of Control C, you have to do here Control F again, Control V, and find next. So you can see ARBPL, they are using work center. You have to use the work center here. Instead of ARBPL, you have to use the work center. Same goes for plant. I know the plant name is PLANT, so you can use plant. And same goes for the Control C, PRVB, Control F, Control V, and you can see the supply area. PRVB is basically supply area, Control V. As soon as you use this one, and we are still getting error because we have in on condition also ARB ID, that is basically work center, Control C. You can replace the object ID is the work center internal ID, Control V, and that way once you activate this one, Control F3, it got activated again. So in that way, instead of using the CRSD table, I have used the released CDS view. So always make sure whenever you have the released CDS view that you should use. That is very important thing. And you have how to find out, especially you are working in the version 2022 and onwards, you can easily find out the release CDS view either going into the table properties, or you can check the ABAP cloud readiness ATC check. From that also you can easily find out that which is the instead of using this table, you have to use, it will suggest automatically, instead of using the CRSD table, you should use the I_work center. So for the ones table I did, I'm not gonna do for other tables. And sometime what happens, some of the tables, I'm again explaining the real time, that is the reason I need to explain. Sometime what happens, suppose I have used AFKO table, I found the AFKO release CDS, but I am getting the data of AFKO is extended, and AFKO has, we are getting some of the custom field also from AFKO, but those custom field is not available in your released CDS view, or you didn't extended your released CDS view and only you have extended the table. In that case also you can't use the release CDS view, you have to go for table again back. Or there is another way, you can extend your release CDS view with those fields which you have extended with the table. So this is again we can say the hiccups can come when you work real time, so that you have to make sure. So in this project I use for the work center, I can use for the in the same way. So one more thing, if I try to see the for AFVC what is the release CDSU. This will be the release CDSU I will get from the ATC check, or I got this all the information when I worked in the advanced version. This is not the this is the rented system again. This is not the advanced one I took, because the other system wherever I checked I didn't get the appropriate data in the system, so that is the reason I'm using this one. So this is not the latest one. So I work center operation ID. If you are working in latest version, you can check that this is the release CDS for the AFVC and AFVV both. It will suggest you when you do the ATC check. And when I open this one, Control Shift A, Control V, and you can open this data definition, and you can go to the properties. It will say it will release for the internal use as of now, and if we are working in the advanced version 2022 and onwards, it release for the cloud as well. So we can use this particular CDS view directly instead of using the AFVC and AFVV table. So basically this is getting the data from the another CDS view, and those another CDS view in turn getting the data from the AFVC. If you go another this P underscore AFVG, this is basically data getting from the AFVC and AFVV. So we have to, again, if you find out these kind of situations, this is again tedious work for each, and because we are directly consuming instead of P underscore AFVG, these are the private views we should not consume. Ideally we have to consume only the release CDS view. So we have only this is the release CDS view. So in that way also you have to traverse to what is the field you have to get for that field, what is that field name in this particular CDS view, that you have to find out, and like that you have to use the release CDS view. This is little bit tricky. Again, if you want to I can show you for this CDS alone, because this is the trickier one. To do that, what we will do, first let me close the CRHD and this work center and this also report also. I have this release CDS view for this, and let me close this also as of now. And what I will do, I will find out for these all the fields what is the alternative fields in this particular release CDS view. So if you try to search with the first, we will be needing the on condition field. So if you see the on condition, we have that if you want to join iWork Center, I need the work center ID. So that is the ARB ID. Control C. If I try to search here, Control F, Control V, ARB ID, we will not get any ARB ID directly. But indirectly we have the ARB ID. How indirectly we have? We are getting the ARB ID from this particular I order underscore operation. If you click on this AFVG table basically, and in the AFVG table again they are having this private view AFVG, and they have this AFVC. If you see Control F, ARB ID, if you search here again ARB ID, you will get the ARB ID here. So that will be as a AFVC table, they are getting the ARB ID. But here also we can find the ARB ID in that way. ARB ID. Let me search it out where it is and what name they have given. They have given the work center internal ID, and that is we are available in our main CDS. Control F, Control V. No, not this one. You have to search this one. Control C and Control F. Control V. I need to check in the not in the on condition. I need to check in my list output. So here somewhere we have two places. You can see work center internal ID we are getting from AFVG. If you see internally AFVG nothing. This is the I underscore operation only. Let me go one back, and they are getting this field work center internal ID from this table, and this table work center internal ID is the ERB ID. So I can replace, I know this is the work center internal ID, this is the preserving type, they don't want to change the type. For that, this is the field we have to get. Control C from the I underscore manufacturer. So as of now I don't want to replace, I just want to put this name here. So whenever I will change the ARB ID wherever we are having, so whenever I will change that time just I have to replace, because if I change here right away, it will get, we will get little bit confused. So either you can prepare another Excel like this. We have ARB ID here because we are not displaying the ARB ID in the output, so I don't have ARB ID. So you can put the that particular field called the ARB ID, AFVC ARB ID, AFVC dot ARB ID. This is the CDS view. What is the CDS we are getting from? Let me paste this field value first. Control V, work center internal ID, and this is the my final CDS view called the, which is the released one, which was suggested to me by the ATC check. So based on the released version. So it is the released CDS view which I should use ideally. So this is I have to use instead of ARB ID, this work center ID I have to use. Same way I have to get the, we should have this AUFPL value and APLZ value as well. So these two values. So AFVV, AUFPL, I think the AUFPL and these two fields also need, we don't have in output. For that also I have to create AFVV dot AUFPL FPL and the AFVV dot APLZ. For that also I have to get this two fields also from this interface. But what all are the fields I have to find out? For that again I have to go AUFPL and AU. I will be not able to search AUFPL directly here because I know it is coming from the AFVV. But I operation we have the AFVV also in AFVZ. So you can see we have AUFPL. So you have to search here AUFPL. So let me copy here, Control C, Control F, Control V. So order internal ID AUFPL is the order. This is getting from the AFVZ, and AFVZ, if you click on AFVZ, it is getting from P underscore AFVZ only. It's the alias name it is given. So we have the operation internal ID, and that operation internal ID I think we have here as well. Control F, Control V. No, operation internal ID I have to search here in final CDS view because Control C, Control F, Control F, Control V, set, it's not copying. Control F, Control V, operation internal ID, and it's multiple places. I should see only in the projection list where they have used. So let me go to projection list, operation internal ID, association I don't want to check, I want to check from here. You can see they are getting from the AFVZ operation. AFVZ is the I underscore operation. If you double click here, I underscore operation. So let me go back one step back. So they are getting order internal ID, and again they have renamed this order internal ID to the manufacturer order internal ID. So in my final CDS, the name of this one is the manufacturer order internal ID, which they are getting in turn. You can, if you want to follow, you can follow like this also, this which for future purpose, for further analysis, which is getting from this one. Control V dot, this is the first one, this is the final CDS view, and this they are getting from this one, they are getting this, and they are getting internally this one. In between one we have one more CDS P underscore PFVZ also, but you want to follow up for future purpose and you want to save, you can save. And same go with the PL. This is really tricky work. You can see PL ZL, and you can search. You will not able to search here directly obviously, but you can search in I underscore operation if it is there. We have one place, this one. Let me search this one again. It is coming from PFVZ only, but basically from this table, and this table it is hitting the AFVV only. So I know this is the operational internal ID, but I have to search this here. Control F, Control V. Again it is multiple places. So I have to see in the my, again they have the same name. So for this they didn't change the name. Operational internal ID they have changed, but for this they didn't change. But let me use this only. So let me put this name. Same way we have other fields also. Warner, control C, operation, which is coming from the, I think this Warner is coming from operation only, AFVC only. These all are fields coming from the AFVC only, not from AFVB. AFVC only. So I put the wrong way, and again AFVC dot Warner, and that in turn, if I check control F, Warner, that is operation in this CDS view, and Warner we can see here. If you try to search Warner here, they are getting from the AFVC only here. AFPL, everything they are getting from the AFVC only. So let me search here again my control V, operation, which is used in the field name directly, not indirectly. They have using in the case statement that I should not check. I should check where they are using from I underscore operations. So they should use ideally from I underscore order operation, or we can say AFVC. So let me check again. So you can see AFVC they are using, somewhere else they are using from AFVC directly. Operation, we go, they are using from AFVC or AFVC here, and finally in AFVC as well. Directly they never used from the AFVC. Let me pause this video and try to see this, what it is happening. I have analyzed further. So what I found out, we can see two operations here. So control F again. So I try to search this one. This is available in the 2022 version. So on 2022 version, now this field is not available. This Warner field is not available in the older version. So if I try to search, but I didn't get this one. So for that, again I go to the basics. So where we were, so we were getting the data from the AFVC. So I went inside, I checked, this is the operation we are using. I search here wherever we are having operation, control F, control V, but control operation, OP also. But in the operation, I can see here they have if else condition. They are getting two places. One, they are getting from the AFVC, from this one I underscore operations, and one they are getting from the AFVC. There are two things. One is the AFVC, which is basically again the operation, on one is the AFVC. So they have one left outer joined with the AFVC, and they have directly getting the data from the AFVC. But when I see this one I underscore operation, where we are getting the data, they have some where condition, no, but inside that when they are getting the data from PFVC, they have some where condition here. So based on some PL and TY, they are those data only they are considering. So we have to make sure that whenever we are working like this, whenever we are fetching the data, if we have where condition, we have to discuss with functional. So we are going to exclude this data when we are going to use CDS. So that also we have to further analyze and see. I think I know this is little bit tricky again, but we have to make sure these are all the things whenever we are using the released CDS view as well. So that's it. There is no issue. I just want to show you how we can use the released CDS view. So in that way I found that we can't use directly this field for operation. Next one is this ARB ID, control C. Again we have to search ARB ID. I think directly we should get from this only, ARB ID. So we have ARB ID. In operation we have control F, ARB ID, work center internal ID. This is we are having somewhere work center internal ID. We already searched for this ARB ID. We already have searched. So I think we have already searched for work center internal ID. This is the ARB ID. Then we have OBJNR, Control C. We have to search in Control F, Control V. Object number is the AFVZ again. We have Control C. There is the one object number only. We can use object internal ID, and we can search here again, Control V, object internal ID. We have to copy from here. C, Control F, Control V. Okay, there is two names. They are just using the preserving key. They don't want to change the type. So that is the reason. So we can use object internal ID directly here as well. ARB ID. V. This is for the ARB ID. And next is the OBJ हो गया, OBJNR हो गया. OBJNR is completed. Give me 1 second. OBJNR. This is for the OBJNR, not ARB ID. OBJNR. Object internal ID. Then we have something called PH flag. I think PH flag we don't need. They are using the PH flag in our final report. Let me go to my final report to deleting the data. So let me go get data. Let me open again this one. You can see here we are deleting the data based on the PH flag. We don't need this particular in output, but we need in this particular field in our where condition. So in our CDS, normal CDS also we have to change here. This we have good catch now here. So whenever we are having this one, when we are hitting the AFPC, this is getting from the AFPC or AFPB. Let me go again in my report. AFPC only. So AFPC we are getting. That time we have to put one more additional condition here, that operation, and we have to put and operation dot PH flag. PH flag should not be initial, not equal to space, or not equal to space we can give, or we can give like this. Should have some value basically. If it is not equal to space, then we are deleting the entry. So it should be equal to space in our case. So when we are deleting those all the entries where the PH flag is not equal to space, means PH flag means when you put flag as a X, it will be deleted. So we have to do in the reverse way. So let me go to my CDS again. This should be space, it should not be deleted. And let me do Control F3. And for this we don't need in that case in here this particular field. This is just for the filtration purpose. We are not using this field in our output also, and joining others table also we are not using this field. Okay, I'm not able to lock. Let me lock again. Alt F3. I have to do SM12. Control F3. Not able to lock. I have to do SM12. Alt F8. Oh, this is tedious work. How much resource they want to save? They just want to save the resources. So after some time ideal, they just log out from the system, but they forgot to delete the entries from the log table. Let me do Control F3 again. I don't need this PH flag as well, so let me do Control Shift less than and Control F3. But since this PH flag is there, so we have to obviously search here PH flag. Control F, PH, FLG. So you can see manufacturer operational ID fetch. We'll see, and we have to see here Control F, Control V if it is there. So we have manufacturer or not this one, Control all, Control not this. Not able to copy. I'm not sure. Please Control F, Control all, Control. So what is the output they are using as is, so I can use if I want to use this one. is in our output. I can comment like this. I can use directly from this CDS obviously, or we can update the PH flag directly. We can update this also. So, HFL. The next field, let's go to the next field, and this is not needed in output, but this will be needed in our where condition obviously. And next field is the PVZKN. I don't know where I'm using this field further. Control C. Let me see my program as well parallelly. Control F, Control V. I use this field here. General counter in order. We go. What is the next place? Sorting, and to hit the further some table. Okay, they are using here when they are getting this one. Oh, got it. When they are getting this PRVB value, that time they are using. So we will be needing this field as well. Control C, Control F, Control V. They are using Control F, V, C, final CDS, Control F, Control V, and we have PFEZ. I don't want on condition, I want somewhere. Okay, they are using here on condition, this one, operation phase, but they are not using in final output. Okay, VZKN, but still I want to use this one, Control F. They might have, they are getting if both are equal. I think they have already used somewhere in where condition this one. I need to check, but basically if you are finding some of the things, how to find those, I just want to show you that how we can find the from the standard release CDS view those all the fields which we need, and make sure whichever the fields you are using, whichever the CDS final CDS you are accessing, those should not have some where condition, and the join condition you should satisfy those all the join condition. Most of the time if SAP released the CDS, you will not face this kind of issue. You can directly access the fields, but in this case I can see in this release this is the not even with the CDS is available, but the fields which I was using in the 2022 version, those fields are not available directly or indirectly. Those are available, but it is little bit confusing. So I will not gonna prefer, in this case I will use those tables only. I will not gonna prefer to join this CDS. So that way you have to prepare the file, how you can prepare, how you can use which CDS you are getting, what is the next CDS and what is the final table. Like that you have to prepare proper document, so whenever other guy is analyzing, he can see those things, why I have used instead of this field, why I have used this particular CDS, and when I am getting the CDS, it should not filter out my data. So if it is filtering out the data, then I will not get that particular field value in my output. That also we have to think it out, and then we have to use the CDS view. And if you are lower version, I will recommend you directly use the tables. If you are working on top of table, you can create your own interface CDS view if it is required, and you can use directly tables instead of the release CDS view in the lower version. If your version is 2022 and above, you should use the release the CDS view. Since it is the lower version, I'm using the direct CDS view. With that, I am pausing this video. Let me activate first this one, Control F3. But the good thing is that one more thing we found, we have to do this, we should not deleted operation, we should not get. So that is the reason we only get the non-deleted operation. This flag also we have to put in the inner join, so we will not get the deleted operation further. So this is one good thing we have find. So we have to analyze these all the things in the program as well. Again, it is locking issue, I will activate, not an issue. I think with that I will pause this video here itself. Before going to next video, please like this video, share this videos with others as well. With that, thank you and happy learning.